Hi guys, it's me, Miss Mary. Told you to grab your water. I have mine. I already showed you a picture of it with cucumber, lemon, and mint. Grab your water and let's just have a little chit chat today. What do you think? Can we just chat it up? I was thinking about a quote that I saw. I saw this quote years ago when I used to volunteer at the Washtenaw County Jail, the women's facility. Where's men and women in there? It's the Washtenaw County Jail. I used to volunteer there, and I saw this quote long time ago, and it really stuck with me. It was one that they had on the wall, and the quote said, "Do something today that your future self will thank you for." I'm going to let you just let that marinate with you. It says, do something today that your future self will thank you for. So what does that look like to you? What does that sound like to you? How does that resonate with you? Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Now, Miss Mary can make some suggestions, but you're the one that's got to take a look at your life and decide what it is that you need to change, what it is that you can do today so that your future self will thank you for. And I was thinking about it, and of course, these people that I was talking to were in jail, you know what I mean? So it was a lot of things they couldn't do. They weren't free to go and do a lot of things, but it starts in the mind. A lot of things, when we want to make changes, it's going to start in your mind. It starts in your head first, and then you start making those changes. So it could be exercising. I talk a lot about exercise because I do exercise. Always room for improvement, but I do exercise. It could be exercising. If you start walking, just get up and start walking. Even if you walk down to the mailbox, if you walk a half a block, and next week, maybe you do the whole block. Then the week after that, maybe you do 2 blocks. Just start. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. And I really like that because the reason why I'm working out and the reason why I exercise, the reason why I'm fighting to keep my weight down is because I'm doing something today that I'm praying that will prevent some things from happening to me in the future. One being diabetes that runs in my family. One being obesity that runs in my family. One being heart disease. I'm just trying to do something today that my future self will thank me for. And when I think about that, I think about like when I go to the doctor. Nothing makes Miss Mary feel good than when she goes to the doctor. And you know how they always ask you, are you exercising? Check. Yes. Are you drinking your water? Yes. Are you eating fruits and berries? Yes. I love being able to tell them yes, 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 yes. I remember last year when my husband and I was living in North Carolina, we went there to live for a year to spend time with family. And I went into the doctor's office, had a physical, had a wonderful doctor. And she said that my blood pressure was elevated a little bit. You want to talk about something just knocked Miss Mary right off? That threw me for a loop because first of all, not bragging, all the glory goes to him. But Miss Mary's 67. She will be 68 this year, and I don't take no pills other than a vitamin I take allergy pills, but I don't take any type of medication for any health conditions. And when she told me that it was just elevated a little bit, it wasn't even anything to be concerned about, but it was something that she had put on her radar. And she said, it's a little elevated, and I'm not worried about it. She said maybe with the transition of moving to a new place and all that stuff, maybe that's got you kind of, got your blood pressure elevated. So she said, I'm going to give it 6 months, and then I want you to come back. So, of course, I went home, because at this time, I wasn't exercising like I normally was, but I was walking every day, or every other day. I'll say every other day. I was walking. I was moving. We'll say that. I was moving. I went and joined boot camp because I was like, oh, no, I'm not getting on the blood pressure medicine. So I went and joined boot camp. And also I spoke with one of my kids, and I got some elderberry. Elderberry is very, very good for lowering your blood pressure. Get the real McCoy, though. I have the leaves. Elderberry, and you brew it like tea. You boil your water and you put the elderberry in there and you drink it. It's really, really, really good. It's like the blood pressure medicine for people who are not on it. Now, if you take blood pressure medicine, you can't drink the elderberry tea. But if you're not on any medicine, then you can do that. So let's be clear. If your doctor have you on blood pressure medicine, then no, you can't have it because it would counteract with what you've already taken. So I got on the elderberry tea and to get my blood pressure. And like I said, it was something crazy, but she was just saying, Mary, I have athletes in here who have elevated blood pressure, who are on a mild blood pressure pill. But for me, I just didn't want to take anything. I knew I didn't want to take anything. And so I had to do something in that moment that my future self would thank me for. And my goal was to make sure that I don't end up on that blood pressure medicine. I was like, no, I'm gonna do what I need to do. I went and joined the boot camp. I changed my eating habits because I was determined. I wanted to take care of this temple, this body that I have. So I'm talking about it in a physical type way, doing something today that your future self would thank you for. But it could be something else. It could be learning how to budget your money. Maybe you need to learn how to budget your money so that you can save more. They said the art to saving, they don't say it, but the truth of the matter is, it's not necessarily that you need more money sometimes. Sometimes we just need to know how to budget what we already have. You know what I mean? Sometimes you really need to, and I've had to do this, you have to dissect your budget. Go in there and look. And it's like what Susie Orman says one time, and I like this, what she said. You don't have to account for your mortgage, your rent, your groceries, and your car payment and all that stuff. Those things are on automatic. It's the other little things. It's like after you pay all those big bills, how much do you have left? Let's say you have $500 left. I'm just talking. I don't know. I'm not saying you do. I don't know how much you have left. Let's say you have $500 left after you've paid everything. It's that $500 that's getting away from you. It's that eating out. It's that going to the park, paying for entertainment. Whatever it is that you're doing with that money that's getting away. And one thing I did learn from Dave Ramsey, and I do like, I'm a firm believer in when people say something, what did Miss Mary say here? Eat the meat throughout the bones. I take whatever I hear that applies to me and can help me, and I apply it. And whatever doesn't work for me, I shove it away. It's like if you put Brussels sprouts in front of me, I don't care for them. So I'm not going to eat them. You know what I mean? I might try a little bit and say, not for me. but thank you anyway, you know. So whenever people talk finances, whenever they're talking exercise, whenever we're talking about anything, eat what applies, take what applies to you. Eat the meat throughout the bones. So in this instance, I'm thinking about find out where the hole is. What happens to that $500 after everything else is being paid? Where's it going? One phrase he says, tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. That was powerful for me. Tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Miss Mary had plenty of days where she wondered where it went. But I tell my money where to go. And another thing is, do something today that your future self will thank you for. It could be saving. Start a savings. And I'm not saying I realize that times are really hard and people are struggling and trying to do the best that they can. But another thing that you can do is like, my son signed me up for Acorn. Now we have investments, my husband and I, but this was just a little one on Acorn where they round up from the spare change. I've been on that thing 2 years. And I can tell you, it's got a lot of money. Well, a lot of money to me when you think of spare change. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe how well it's done, you know. Now, I started that 2 years ago. And over the period of 2 years, I think I have like $2,500 from spare change. Not bad. So if I had an emergency, I have some spare change. I have some money over there that I could pull and that I could get. So do something today. Figure out how you can put a little money away. I know it's hard. I know times are hard. That's why I'm always talking about how to save money. That's why I'm always talking about, making your own toothpaste, your own deodorant, those things that we spend so much money on. Now, once you start saving money from not buying those things, you don't want this money to get away from you. You know what I mean? If you save $70 from not buying your toothpaste and not buying deodorant and not buying detergent, what are you doing with that money? Are you putting it away? Are you just out there spending it? Oh, well, now we can just go out to eat. Or I can stop and buy ice cream or whatever you're doing with it. I don't know. But do something today that your future self will thank you for. I know your future self will thank you for saving money. Money is one of those things, the quote that goes, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Especially when you have the power to control. If you're barely making ends meet and your bills are $2,000 and at the end of the day you end up $2,000 and you don't have a penny left over, I'm not talking to you. Because you're doing the best you can with what you have. But even at that, make sure you check your budget. Look at it. Don't be afraid. A lot of times we don't even want to know how much stuff costs. We don't even want to know. You know what I mean? Look at your cable bill. We went and had some stuff taken off of ours. Look at where you can make cuts at. Do something today. That could be financially. That could be physically. It could be spiritually. Maybe you need to start reading your Bible. I read scripture a day. Maybe you need to start walking. Maybe you need to start saving. Whatever it is, only you are going to know. Maybe you need to start learning how to cook. Maybe you need to start cleaning your house. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Whatever it is. Miss Mary don't know what it is for you. But all I can say is do it. You can do it. If you learn how to start making your bed, you'll be so happy. That, hey, I did one thing today. If you make your bed in the morning, then when you come home in the afternoon, you've got a made bed. If you load the dishwasher or wash the dishes, and when you go in there to cook, the kitchen is clean, you'll be glad that you don't have to clean the kitchen then start cooking. To me, that's just like, ooh, that's too much. I'd rather cook in a clean kitchen and then clean the kitchen after I cooked, because I know I got to come back in here and cook again at some point, you know? So do something. Start doing something. Whatever it is that you know. You already know what it is that you need to do. You don't even need Miss Mary to tell you. What is it that you need to do? Something. Do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. What is it? I'm going to start drinking my water. In a year from now, I'm going to feel better. My bones are going to be happy. My circulation is going to be happy. My physical fitness is going to be happy because I'm drinking my water. Do something today. Stop drinking all that pop. Maybe you need to stop eating. You know what Miss Mary got to do? And she did do it this week. I love Klondike bars. And I know not to buy them, because once I buy them, it's addicting for me. I bought some 3 weeks ago. Then when I went to the grocery store, I got another pack. Then I got another pack. I went to the grocery store this week, and guess what Miss Mary said? No more. No more Klondike bars for you, Missy. Do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. I'm going to be happy I didn't have the Klondike bar, because then that means I ain't got to work out as hard. I don't need those Klondike bars. One, every now and then, yeah. Once a week, but every night? One, sometimes two. Miss Mary just being transparent and honest here. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. What is it? You know what it is. You don't need me to tell you. So Miss Mary just coming in for a landing. We just having a little chit chat here, you know. I just want you to be the best that you could be. And whether you know it or not, I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you. I want you to make it. I want you to succeed. I want you to be happy. This is Miss Mary, just coming in for a landing. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, eat the meat, throw out the bones, and don't forget, do something today that your future self will thank you for.